today's episode segment, we focused on the Galaxie final fit up of the trunk, quarter, and door gapping with the door. And we'll also talk about our son's Bronco box side installation in a video coming up.
Took a few days off work to come help my son with his Bronco. He replaced some of the parts, did some repairs here, did some repair work here. I came and helped him with building this, getting this back bracket better. As you can see, this is kind of some of the before. So we're going to do a little bit more work on today and hopefully get a chance to put the new box side on. You can see you've got it, just prepping it, getting the holes drilled and everything for the build. All right, we're getting ready to install the box side. You see we've got everything prepped here. We're just going to get a better gun to dispense the glue on the back side. We're going to do similar to what I did on the Galaxie, or I'm doing the Galaxie, where we're going to glue on the top lip here. We're going to weld here where it was previously welded there. And we're going to weld the front edge. We had to basically use a bunch of tech screws to get everything to line up to the door. When we put the door on, we've actually got, our son bought a used door. It's actually in really good shape. We used that, we set it in place, adjusted it. Now all we're going to do is use that as our guide to make sure we put everything in place that fits good. We did put the tailgate in, and the tailgate was a good thing we did. This is a new one that he bought from LMC, I believe. When we put it up and aligned everything, we used it. We spent a lot of time adjusting it together. So it came out good. You can see all the extra work we did here. We do some reinforcing on this to make sure that everything is going to be nice and strong when we're done. And it actually looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it so far. Stay tuned. We'll put the box on and see what it looks like. All right, we have the box side in. We glued the bottom, but we actually have a spot where we're going to weld it. Go do a bit of welding there tomorrow. We've got it clamped for glue on the inside lip. We have all the welding done on the inside. Again, inside here, what we did is we built this piece. We actually watched a video by Fitzy's Fabrications, and he showed us how to do it in two-piece. We actually did it in one, where we took the bottom lip, instead of cutting it and then putting a flange, we actually cut it and did a bad chad and just kind of cut in certain places, and then we just welded it up and then made one straight face from there, and that's where we welded this all up to. Overall, fit's not too bad. There's a little bit more gap at the top here than at the bottom using the tailgate, but pretty acceptable. Looking at the door, you see the door lines up quite well. Again, there's just a little bit more gap here than here. However, we are finding on this door, and these doors never did fit that great, that we were getting pretty tight up there. So we're pretty limited to what we could do there, but overall pretty happy with it. So that's my interlude from the Galaxie, is to help our oldest son work on the Bronco. Hello everyone, just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on my quarter panel install from the 64 Galaxie. As you see I've done some fit up on here. The gap looks pretty good here. It's a little bit low here. I'm going to try to see if I can lift that a little bit. As for my gap in here, it looks like I've got a little bit of trimming to do in this little area here. It looks like it's actually holding it from getting tight in there. You can see how this all fits together. This piece I have to do a little hammer going. This actually welds on here. You can see kind of how that quarter panel fits on top here. I've marked some spots where I'm going to drill some holes for welding. You can see how this all fits in here. This all fits together. I've drilled some holes here. I'm just going to clamp that, do some welding. I might glue it in, and I might actually weld a couple spots here. I'm going to glue it as well, but I might weld a few spots there after it's secured. Overall, fit is pretty good. You can see the one dent on the floor panel. I might hammer it all in before I get too far ahead of myself. Lines seem to be really good here. Show you a little bit of a profile here. So lines match up quite well. The only one is I might try to do a little bit of work up there. It's quite difficult to do. You'll see here, kind of marked all the screws because, as you can guess, you're trying a few different ways to get it to fit. So I've got them all marked. So next step, pull the quarter, do a little bit of work on it, and really get ready to put it in. Bit of an update before I start doing my final fit up. Did a bit of cleanup there. Tried to clean up the back side of this piece as best I could. Got this piece kind of cleaned up. Did a little bit of hammer and drilling in there. Got to drill some holes on the quarter panel for this piece. Clean this up, and I drilled some holes on the bottom here from the top so I can weld from the top. I think it'll be a bit stronger. I did put a couple of tack welds here just to make 100% sure I'm good. I did do, again, a couple of little holes here just to make sure that I can weld and glue at the same time. Yeah, I do. If you're wondering, yes, I do have to clean this area up. I'll probably do a couple tack welds there too, but just wanted to finish cleaning up and just giving you an update before I put the quarter panel back on. You can see I've been doing a bunch of cleanup on here too. Just trying to get it done. I'll drill some holes here. I made a mistake and actually drilled a bunch of holes here. I probably shouldn't have. Yeah, it's coming along. Probably have to clean this up a little bit as well. Right? Hopefully I have this on in the next day or two. Alright, I'm getting ready for final install. I'm pretty close here. I have, got to make sure I put lots of marks where I got to lift to there, so I got this adjusted right. I'm going to have to tap this out. I've got a puller I can use to pull that out a little bit. And then I put my marks for there and adjusting the height there, but the fit up seems to be pretty darn good. Pretty happy with the gap there, except for the back here, so I gotta adjust the height and the in and out, which seems to work good once you push it down. It pulls closed. So yeah, we're just about ready to do the deed. Seems to line up pretty good still. I'll have to play around with that, but overall, pretty happy with it. I did a little bit more adjusting. place to weld it when I put the quarter in. Alright, I've got the quarter panel screwed, glued, and tack welded in place. Seems to fit pretty good. If I look down the body lines, pretty happy with that. It doesn't look too bad. Not too bad. I did lift there and just tack it. I've got the glue in place. The trunk seems to fit. You'll see that I had a minor adjust there for height. Seems to be okay. You know, the gaps don't look too bad on either side. So pretty happy with that. Even at the ends, they look okay. So overall, pretty happy with it. I'll have to do a lot of welding, but I can do a lot of the welding after, once the glue is cured. Do the welding here, got to do some welding in the back. I did glue part way up the side, more as a sealer than a glue, because I've got a bunch of weld spots to do there. One thing I did notice is the outer wheelhouse actually was in a little bit, so when I tried to adjust it to the wheelhouse, it actually pulled it in. So I ended up leaving it out so that it is nice and straight on the bottom part, as opposed to sucking it in and try to hit it out. So that's going to be something I'll have to work with. I mean, it's not terrible, but if you wanted it perfect, you'd probably be disappointed with it. So anyways, that's it. So hopefully we'll keep welding over the next few weeks and have this installed, and go on to doing the rest of the panels.